Welcome to my channel.
Wife 33F said she cheated on me 30M because I'm ugly and short. Story 1-4. She had been spending a lot of time alone in her office and not going to bed when I did. An extraordinarily amount of text messages for the month, and a lot of numbers being called by her phone that I didn't know. Kept asking her if she was cheating, which was always denied. She spent the weekend at a hotel for what was supposed to be for a birthday party for her friend, and when she came back, the clothes in her bag smelled like smoke for no real reason. Still could not confirm what she was doing, due to lack of evidence. A while later I was sitting at work, mid-afternoon, when I received a Facebook message from one of her friends, someone who was slowly becoming disgruntled along with this friend's boyfriend, who my wife was trying to get the friend to dump, saying that she'd been cheating on me. It included details, dating site logins, and 2 pictures of her kissing this duckboy type guy. By this time they already were broken up, but from the details in the message and what I got from the dating sites, showed that she was still trying to see other people. I was devastated, and couldn't fully react because I was at work. I texted my wife about it, and of course she tried to deny it. She left with the kids that night, as I was super pissed off. I did let her come back the next day, so we could talk about it. We did end up staying together, as a divorce would leave either of us with very little. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, you're crazy to have stayed with her. Doesn't matter if you ended up broke, you can build your wealth again. Loyalty you can't buy, and you're stuck with a disloyal WH. Loyalty and honor are things that can't be bought. Redditor 2, good luck, brother. Tough decisions to be made, I hope you made the right one. Just try not to let her actions get you pissed off, yet alone super pissed off again. She ain't worth that. Mahalo. Redditor 3, so you're actually still with her right now? Did she ever give a merit reason for her infidelity? Redditor 4, anyone can leave their old habits behind. If she is devoted to you, she can change her behavior and you two can have a healthy relationship. I wish the best for you and your children. Redditor 5, how are things going since this happened? Was she sincerely sorry? Redditor 6, I was left with little, but I did have self-respect. I'm not judging you, I know it's hard out there. Story 2-4, being in a long-distance relationship, it was very hard to predict about her that she could cheat me. I went to her place to visit her. She started faking her smile, and I could sense that something was weird or unusual at the time of kiss. Suddenly she received a text message from her male friend. When I asked her that, why did her male friend messaged her as baby? She replied me that everybody calls her baby only. I was like, what the duck is going on, and why is she lying to me so confidently? When I checked her phone and read all the messages with that particular boy, I realized that she was cheating me since a very long time, and I was a big fool to not realize it before. I was always looking for the future with her. I was so invested into her that it was very hard to imagine a life without her. I cried a lot on that night, and I did not tell her about those messages on that night. Once I confronted her about those messages, then I felt like she does not deserve me. I used to admire independent girls and used to respect all girls, maybe still do, but now I am not sure if I will ever trust any girl in my future. I tried to move on and still trying to move on, but I don't know when will I move on. I had always been running away from people just because I never found someone who could love me. My family is not that kind of family who could understand my emotional feelings. I have seen domestic violence. I have seen worst in my life. When I met this girl and fell in love with her, then I thought maybe this world is not so bad. I started believing in her. I am again alone after losing her, still running away from people, but this time I am not in search of any love from anybody. I am just searching for happiness, and I hope I will find it someday. Thanks for reading. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, it's tough, bro, for now at least. But have faith in the future, you will find a better companion. Story 3-4, I'm writing this mainly because I think it may help me to acknowledge everything that happened and come to terms with the fact that shit happens. I've been through a lot of stuff, but nothing as emotionally traumatizing as this. I was in the relationship for nearly 8 years when I found out he was cheating on me. There was one woman, let's call her V, who he had as a friend for a long time. I never met her, and I didn't know what she looked like, but they kept in contact every once in a while. He told me she was an old friend he met in college, and I didn't think much of it. She was a divorce lawyer from Utah, and one day she got so overwhelmed that she had asked him to work on some cases for her. Odd, and I'm pretty sure that's illegal, but he needed the money and he was willing to help. One day she asked him if he wanted to rent out a house she owned that was cheaper than where he was living, and I thought it was a nice gesture, a little weird, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt and offered to help him move in anyway. He never went through with it. Then one day the woman had the lickings to ask if she could move in with him. Mind you, she is married, and when he told me about this in December he said V just asked me if she could move in. I've got that spare bedroom upstairs, and it would help split the rent. He asked me for my permission, and I immediately got upset. So, being the good boyfriend he was, or so I thought, he said, "Okay, I understand." One night I had a dream that he was sleeping with a colored woman in our bed. I told him about this and he promised me nothing happened, so I shrugged it off. I was staying with him for a week. I was attending college in a different state and he let me use his laptop to watch a movie while he was at work. V sends him a message on Google Hangouts and the notification appears on the corner of the screen. The preview of the message looked pretty shady, so I clicked on it, and lo and behold, they were sending explicit messages to each other. Shaking, I started scrolling back through the message history in my panic and found that they had been meeting up at hotels after she flew in to visit. He picked her up from the airport and took her back to his house, etc., and he even spent a whole weekend in a different state with her to visit a place that we had planned to go together. Come to find out, this was the exact woman I had dreamt about. And that time he told me in December that she had just asked to move in? She asked in November. He seriously considered it. In reading the conversation, I found what his reason was for ultimately saying no. It wasn't that would be wrong. Not I have a girlfriend. Not the only woman who should be living with me as my girlfriend. It was, my brother's bedroom is still full of his old shit and there's nowhere else to put it. Sorry. Shocked, I began to go through his emails, his Facebook Messenger, his old phone, Kik, etc. This ducking guy had at least 8 women he had been talking to, one of which was a minor that I found direct evidence of, and I know for a fact that he had more women on the apps I never had access to. He had friends set him up on dates with other women, nudes saved on his old phone, etc. He even told V things about me that he had promised me he'd keep secret. He told other women he loved them and that he had been working 2 jobs to be able to take care of them, which are things he told me. This had been going on since we were in the talking stages of our relationship 7 years prior. I found out all of this on Christmas. I had zero clue any of this was going on. He was cheating on me since literally day 1 of the relationship. I felt probably the most intense pain of betrayal that anyone could ever feel, and I don't wish that pain on anyone. He's a gun owner, and I knew all the combinations to where he kept his guns. How I didn't commit suicide that day, I will never know. All those times people ask me, how do you know he isn't cheating on you? I would get upset because in my mind it was an absurd accusation. Talk about something being too good to be true. M's X of the story is, if you have a gut feeling about something and it's raising a red flag, get out of that situation. Your gut feeling is almost never wrong. Redditors' reactions. Redditor 1, I'm so sorry you have felt such pain and betrayal, but I'm beyond happy for you that you found out the truth. Keep on listening to that intuition of yours. It's obviously on point. Look forward to meeting that special someone who will cherish you always. You deserve it. Redditor 2, I found out my husband of 28 years had been cheating with a lot of women for 5 years. Some of the details he dared not tell me came to me in dreams first. One thing I've learned is listen to your intuition. Redditor 3, in times like that we get shocked at how we could be so stupid and blindsided. We think that stuff like this only happens to losers in movies. It's all fake until it's finally uncovered and real. How are you getting on now? Story 44. Back when I was younger, I met a girl, fell completely head over heels in love. After months, almost a year of dating, I popped the question and she said yes. I was on top of the world. The only girl in the world I even cared to look at. Call me old-fashioned at the time, but I waited. I waited until I found the love of my life. We were engaged and we consummated just shortly after. So, I had to move about 2 hours away for college, and the plan was that I got us a place, got settled, I'd come home and we'd get married in about 2 months. Wedding plans were being made, I was doing schoolwork and full-time job, and I'd come home on the weekends to see her. Ran up big phone bills talking to her almost every night. Then about a month before the big day, I called to talk to her. She wasn't home, but I spoke to her mom. Her mom was very hesitant to talk to me, but told me the truth: she was out with an ex-boyfriend. I'm not typically the jealous type, but I knew who he was and had interactions with him before, but I trusted her. I called a mutual friend of ours that evening and spoke to her. We'll say her name was Mary. I asked Mary about what was going on, and she was as shocked as I was because she also didn't know anything was up. Since Mary and my fiancé were best friends, I thought it was odd and I got worried. I felt my heart sink and I think I knew at that point what was going on. The next day comes along, and I call and talk to her. I told her that I called the previous evening, but her mom said she was out. She said, "Yeah, me and Mary went out to the movies." "Funny," I said, "I talked to Mary last night as well." Then proceeded to ask her what was really going on. After a couple very poor attempts to continue lying to me, I told her I knew who she was with and thanks to Mary and other friends where she was and exactly what was going on. She called me about a week later and finally admitted the truth. I don't remember what else she said. 1, I was too drunk. 2, she lied to me and broke my heart. I went through a long fit of depression after that. A lot of drinking, a lot of not caring. I got better over time. I met girls I've cared about, one I've even married and divorced. I never really fell in love again.
Thank you for watching. Comment what do you think about this situation. Don't forget to like and subscribe.